Isang napakagandang balitang ito para sa buong Pilipinas. Opisyal na kasing pinirmahan ng ating mahal na Pbbm ang batas na ito. Batas na matagal nang hinihintay ng mga maraming mayayamang bansa. Batas na inaasahang magpapayaman ng sobra-sobra sa ating ekonomiya. Sa batas kasing inilabas noon ni dating Pangulong Aquino, ipinagbabawal ang pagmamay-ari ng foreign companies na magnegosyo sa atin. Ito rin ang dahilan kung bakit mabagal ang paglago ng ating ekonomiya. Pero ngayon ay bukas na ang Administrasyong Marcos sa gantong klaseng kalakaran. Dito pinasinayahan nga ni Pangulong Marcos ang pinakaunang foreign companies na maglalaan ng bilyong-bilyong halaga ng pera sa Pilipinas. Magtatayo ang SunAsia Energy Incorporated na 1,300 megawatts floating solar energy. Magpopondo ang foreign company na ito ng $1.2 billion para sa ating bansa. Halina't pakinggan natin ang buong detalye ng pagpirma ni Pbbm.
To further promote our country as a top investment destination. Furthermore, we live in a global economy, and therefore, we follow the principle that we compete vigorously but cooperate whenever possible. But to compete vigorously with the nations in Southeast Asia, in ASEAN, in Asia, and for that matter, for the rest of the world, we also have to compete in terms of the ease of doing business. The example that I constantly give is some of the permits that are required for certain elements. Although ARTA has already reduced the days from a significant number, we look to places like Thailand, we look to places like Vietnam, who are our direct competitors, South Korea, Indonesia. The requirements for investors to come in are completely put our systems in the shade, whereas some permits take. Well, I'm sure you will recognize when I describe them. There are some permits that take 36 months to complete. Whereas you go to Thailand, you go to Indonesia, you go to Vietnam, they take 2 weeks to complete. The establishment of a foreign firm in in our place, we have reduced it now from 80 days to 20 plus days. Still, we have a ways to go. You go to the countries that I have mentioned, it takes 3 days. And this is why we must do this. This is why if we are to compete on an even basis, which is required because we cannot continue to hide behind protectionist laws and protectionist policies, because no country ever got wealthy by following a protectionist policy. The wealth of a nation is defined by the amount of trade that it has gone. We can look back many centuries, and it has always been trade that has been the key to the wealth of any nation, of any system, of any economic system. So we recognize the efforts of everyone who have helped us craft this executive order. We acknowledge, of course, the members of Congress for being supportive of the administration's agenda to foster a conducive business environment and for ensuring that all of our policies are aligned towards the seamless realization of strategic investments. It is a continuing application of the principle of whole of government response to the continuing challenge of dismantling the obstacles faced by investors whenever they decide to do business here in our country. It is indeed long overdue to have reforms that will not only attract more investment into the country, but will also create an environment conducive to business growth and development. So today, we take a huge leap forward, ushering a new era of efficiency and collaboration within and without government. We envision a future where the Philippines becomes an attractive and competitive hub for business ventures, where enterprises flourish and thrive, and where opportunities await every investor for every Filipino. We aim to achieve this through various measures that include government agencies establishing the green lane services for the permitting and the licensing of strategic investments. We will create a single point of entry with the creation of Board of Investments One-Stop Action Center, which shall serve as the only entry of all projects qualified as strategic investments. Now, this can be seen. It has been said that this might prove to be a bottleneck, but that is not the idea behind this. The idea behind this is to give our investors, take the load, the bureaucratic load off the potential investors and put that load onto our green lane practitioners. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that instead of a potential investor having to do all the legwork to find the documentary requirements, go to this office, and we have heard all the stories where you go to one office and they say, well, you know, we can only sign 3 of these documents. You require 28. So you have to go now to another office. So you will go to the other office and they'll say, this is fine, but we can only do so much. You have to go to another, and this goes on and on and on. And to the point that some investors give up and say, this is not worth the trouble. There's too much cost involved. The ROI on this, the cost-benefit analysis on this has become untenable. And so what when we say that there will be one avenue, one lane, one green lane, is that we establish a system whereby our potential investors will go to the DTI, will go to ARTA, will go to wherever the appropriate department is. That department will then take on that load and say, whenever you have we will be the ones to call our counterparts in the other department. We will go there, get the documentary requirements, get the signatures that are needed, and anytime that you have a problem, you come to one person. You have one person, one agency that you will talk to, and we will take care of it from our end. Because when it's often not clear how the system works. Even for us Filipinos, we do not. Sometimes we feel that the rules are so complex that it is very hard to comply. You try very hard, but again, at every instance, at every turn, there is always a problem. They will say, well, you forgot to bring this, you forgot to bring that document, you forgot to get the clearance, forgot to, and the foreign investor says, we didn't know that was necessary. So we know, we in the government know what is necessary. So let us take that load off the investor. Let us take that load off the business sector and take it on, because that is the role of government, is to handle all these bureaucratic procedures, not so that we delay and we open opportunities for corruption, for wastage. Instead, we are doing now the opposite, where we are streamlining all of this. And that for a serious investor to come in, they will talk to one department. That department, they will be assigned a single person who will be their, shall we say, who will be their handler in terms of getting all the necessary requirements, legal, documentary, bureaucratic, whatever it is, so that the investor knows where they stand and what else they need to do. And so that is a general idea behind these green lanes. And that, I think, is a big step towards our fostering this idea of making the ease of doing business something that becomes more attractive to potential investors. So it is good that we are launching the e-Invest, which is an online platform for investors to submit applications to operate in the country, where they can also be granted a provisionary permit to operate while waiting for their applications to be processed and approved. Moreover, it will facilitate the simultaneous processing of applications of national government agencies and local government units for permits and for licenses. We will enable electronic submission of applications for and the issuance of clearances, permits, payments, certifications, amongst other documentary requirements. We understand that time is of the essence for our investors and our entrepreneurs. Thus, a streamlined bureaucracy will ensure that our processes are efficient, transparent, and responsive to the needs of these potential investors. We will not stop there, though. The entire government is committed to realize the vision of making it happen in the Philippines. The Board of Investments has already partnered with 36 agencies on putting on the fast track approvals of permits and the resolution of concerns, particularly for identified strategic investments. We will continue to closely monitor the performance of these processes in order to track our progress and identity. And we will see the areas for continuous improvement, even as we continue to pursue other projects and endeavors that will make the Philippines an even more fertile ground for investment. I'm confident that the green lanes will pave the way for the realization of many pledges that we have had, including those that I have personally received whilst abroad, ensuring that they will bear fruit for our people and our nation. So join me now as we welcome this new endeavor and the new investments that will come and to realize the full potential of our country to build a strong, dynamic, and resilient economy for every Filipino. Thank you very much. Mabuhay po tayong lahat.